The United Nations Emergency Fund has pledged $1.55 million in humanitarian aid to assist herders grappling with the aftermath of the dzud disaster in Mongolia. This announcement follows a call from the humanitarian aid team in Mongolia, urging support to combat the adverse effects of dzud. The aid package aims to alleviate the challenges faced by herders during the harsh winter and the spring seasons.
During a press conference held on May 22nd at the UN office in Ulaanbaatar, it was disclosed that over 200,000 people urgently need humanitarian assistance, with 77,000 identified as the most vulnerable. The United Nations humanitarian aid team in Mongolia is actively engaged in delivering material and cash aid to those affected.
I will tell you about the dzud this year, as I mentioned, is one of the worst we had in the last 50 years. More than 7.6 million livestock perished. And this has been something which is very difficult for the herder families. Many of these families have lost the entire livestock. We went to Sukhbatar Sum and Sukhbatar Aimag. We went to Jargal Hansum in Hinti Aimag. We went to the Chulunt Bag in Hinti Aimag, and we've met with the families who've lost everything. We spoke with them. The challenge was tremendous. We have provided them support, both financial support. You saw that FAO is being given cash, is giving other medical support, health support, livestock support. We've provided many supports from the UN, from the government, from NEMA, from the all other many donors, including World Vision, ADRA, Save the Children, and the big MRCS, the Red Cross.
Last winter's dzud disaster resulted in the loss of over 7.43 million livestock nationwide, significantly impacting the livelihoods of thousands of herders. A study by the National Statistics Office highlighted the prolonged repercussions of dzud affecting herders' livelihoods and the health and education of their children for up to 3 years. The aid operation will be executed through the UN organizations, with the Food and Agriculture Organization receiving $700,000, the United Nations Population Fund receiving $350,000, and the United Nations Children's Fund receiving $500,000. This assistance is expected to benefit 12,000 vulnerable people, including herders, women, children, and people with disabilities.
So FAO is participating in the dzud response with other UN agencies. We have recently received some new funding, so we have received another $700,000, out of which we will provide cash assistance to 2,000 vulnerable herder households, and we are coordinating with other humanitarian agencies like MRCS, ADRA, World Vision, and so on. So we are doing in very close coordination with them. Each herder household will receive 650,000 tugruks. In addition, what we are doing is we are very concerned about any kind of disease outbreaks in the animals, particularly sheep and goat pox, which is a viral disease that can affect newborns particularly, and there is no treatment for that, so we have to vaccinate. So as part of our response program, we will also bring in 2 million doses of vaccines, and then we will work closely with the veterinary agency to provide the vaccination to sheep and goat, particularly to the newborns. So these are the highlights. But I have to say that going forward, we have allocated another $500,000 from our own resources to work with the government to prepare the herders and the government better for the dzuds that will come into the future. So a lot of training, a lot of emergency management and policy support. So the expected results of one is really to sort of protect the livelihoods and the lives and livelihoods of herders. And I think that is very closely linked to food security of the country. So I think that's one. And the second is to prepare Mongolia in general to better deal with similar emergencies in future, because with climate change we know that these things are going to become more and more frequent and we have to prepare better. So we want to work very closely with the government to put in place systems so that we are better prepared.
The United Nations Children's Fund plans to provide food supplements and nutrients to 6,700 children and over 3,300 pregnant and lactating mothers. The United Nations Population Fund will distribute hygiene and sanitation kits to 4,000 women, including pregnant and lactating women and teenage girls residing in affected areas.